Welcome to my house. I'm so excited that you're here with me, Sarah and Jake, to commemorate the memory of Keren Rotshtein, who is a fallen soldier from the IDF in Israel. We're gonna cook her favorite recipe today, which is an onion soup. The story of this being her favorite recipe comes from the story of when she got a higher rank in the army and got a pay raise with that, and she took her mom out for lunch, and she insisted on buying that lunch. Normally, parents would get your food, they will pay the bill, but she was like, no, I'm a grown-up now, I want to invite you. I was the one who invited you to celebrate this with me. And they enjoyed a warm cup of onion soup, and it became her favorite recipe, and that is what we're gonna cook today. And we are supposed to chop around 2 or 2.5 pounds of onions. But I think we're gonna chop all of them because onions are amazing and we love chopping onions, right? We're gonna cut the ends if that's what you prefer, because each of us have our own way of doing this. And then once you're done, please put it in this bowl, which I will share that this has a very meaningful story for myself. This bowl used to belong to my dad, so it's probably older than me, and this is how I bring his memory of loving to cook to my kitchen. This project is called Matkon im Zikaron, which is basically translated to recipe with a memory. And the idea of the project was to find a way to commemorate fallen soldiers with communities who don't necessarily know the people, bringing the stories of fallen soldiers from the community of Ashkelon adds another layer of the connection between the two communities that maybe wouldn't have been there before. Because even if we are connecting through loss, it is another way of connecting. We partner with the people in Ashkelon, and they helped us collect these stories of fallen soldiers from families in Ashkelon. And the story of Keren was one of the first ones we actually received. You will see that her story is very, very impactful. She achieved so much in the short life that she had, so I'm just happy that I get to share that with you here. So now that we have chopped the onion, we are moving on to making the soup itself. So we're gonna turn our heat on high, and we're gonna let the pot heat up a little bit, and then we're gonna put in 1.7 ounces of butter. We're gonna let the butter melt a little bit, and then we're gonna turn the heat down a little bit. And then while the butter is melted, I'm gonna start adding the onions, and we're gonna stir them for about 20 to 30 minutes for them to cook thoroughly, be golden but not burnt. That is very, very important. Stir this until they are golden and nice. I really want to share with you the story of Keren Rotshtein, who is the soldier that we are in the middle of cooking her favorite recipe. Keren Rotshtein was born to Aviva and Avi Rotshtein on the 16th of Tammuz, July 18th, 1981. She was born in Jerusalem, but later on she moved to Ashkelon, which is our partner city. Keren grew up in Ashkelon. She went to Beit Yechezkel Elementary and Ort Henry Ronson for high school. She was an asset when it came to social innovations. She was very much involved with everything in her school. She was part of the school newspaper. She was in the class yearbook. Very, very involved when it comes to her class. She loved putting emphasis on education and her love for the teaching and the love of the land. She really, really loved the state of Israel. And that is one of the reasons she decided to, in the army, get drafted to the educational corps, חיל החינוך והנוער, which is also something that we share in common. This is also where I did my service. So on October 1999, Keren was drafted to the IDF and began her service as an educational NCO. She had the nickname in her friends group or the other soldiers around her as Mom, because she was so caring. She cared about everyone. She always made sure that everyone is okay. 2 months after she received her lieutenant ranks, she was brutally killed on Sunday, February 2nd, 2002, as part of a terrorist shooting next to her base in Beersheba. She was also there with another private, Aya Malachi, who also fell in that same terror attack. She was 21 when she was killed, and it was 8 months before she was supposed to finish her army service and start her life.
She looks like a very vibrant person who really gives off positive energy. She looks like a person that I want to get to know.
Yeah. Like I feel like we would have been good friends kind of way. Mm-hmm. Like if we would have shared, being the same base, being the same education course, like I can see us being friends. So now that we have our onion fairly brown, glazed, very, very nice looking, not burnt, which is very important. We're gonna add 2 tablespoons of flour, and we're gonna stir them for about 5 minutes. Let them incorporate into the onions, stir all together. And it's important to mix it well to not have balls of flour inside your mixture. And then to our mixture, now that 5 minutes have passed, we are gonna add 4 cups of vegetable soup or vegetable broth. And then we are gonna turn the heat a little bit up, stir all of it together, add salt and pepper to taste, and then we're gonna let it boil and simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes. And this is Keren's favorite recipe, an onion soup. So while I pour this, I just wanna note how we got a chance to commemorate her memory, but it was in a meaningful way that is not too sad. We did hear her story, we did make room for her, and this is our way to celebrate her life and what she did, and add another flavor to her.
Thank you.
This has been such a wonderful opportunity to get to sit down with Maayan.
It was a different way of remembering Keren that we don't normally do in commemorating people. It's a very just real, visceral way to remember this person, and it gives us literally a flavor of this person's life.
You know, the life that she lived, as much as it was, you know, tragically cut short, to learn about how impactful her life was while she was here, and you know, to get to experience this food that was so important to her is just a really special way to learn about someone, and you know, connect to Israel, to Ashkelon, and to Keren, to this individual, despite the fact that I'll of course never have the opportunity to meet her.